Hello, Traditions of These Islands students. Welcome to the start of this module this year. I am your module leader. My name is Katrina MacDonald, and I'm going to be curating and the administrator of this Team Talk module. So I hope you're all doing well, and of course this is a big steep learning curve for everybody at the moment working online. And this introductory session, I'm going to lead you through the module handbook, which is available for to be viewed on the Canvas page underneath module handbook. So I'm just going to lead us through here on screen. And of course, any questions that you may have after this session, you're very, very welcome to be in contact with me at katrina.macdonald@ncl.ac.uk. So in this module handbook, you're going to find all the details really of things that you'll need to know about this year. So quite often the questions that crop up, this will be your first place to look because there's quite an extensive amount of information here on everything from the actual timetable, dates of sessions, dates of lectures, dates of when lecture material will be going up, when seminars, Zoom seminars will be taking place, etc. So, as I said, this module is not only delivered by myself, but it is delivered by a fantastic team of folk and traditional music specialists. You see the list of people here that you'll be working with, and it's very important for you to know that this is the type of genre of music that each of us very much works and connects, our work connects to. But the teachers that are going to be teaching here are obviously coming with a lot of musical experience. Many of the lecturers and seminar leaders are people who are practitioners themselves. So that means they will actually be part of the tradition that they're talking about, and they're going to be able to not only talk about the music, but also be able to perform it for you. So it should be very much an immersive experience for you with this fantastic team of people. So over the 2 semesters, the materials will be delivered to you in 2 different ways. So on a Friday, every Friday, we will be putting up on Canvas the asynchronous content. So that is your lecture content. And we have tried as much as possible to make this accessible and to put it into smaller chunks of lecture content, and perhaps also alongside video presentations and slide content. You may have notation, you may have performances, you may have video links, Spotify lists. These are all things that you will have to navigate in this new way of learning. So we don't expect you to sit down necessarily in one big chunk. It is material that we would have presented in a 2-hour lecture. So you can either have a go, and if you really get into it, you can just go from one section to the other, and we very much guide you through the way that we feel the information is best digested. But obviously you can stop between each of the sections if you want to. You can go back and recap if there are things that you didn't hear the first time around. Or you can maybe take some of it, if it's podcasts and things like that, on your phone, go for a walk, whatever way it is that you feel as though you're going to be able to digest this material. So on a Friday, when this material goes up on Canvas, we would expect you then to have reviewed this information before the Thursday seminar. So there are seminars for this module which are synchronous, which means they are face-to-face online sessions with the seminar leader. For many of these sessions, it may well be that there is a piece of preparatory work to do. And what we've tried to do in Traditions of These Islands is really underpin the lecture content that you're getting with kind of an applied part of the process. So some weeks you may be asked to do a preparatory piece of academic set reading, which you'll read beforehand and come to your seminar group prepared to discuss it. But in some of the seminar groups, you may also have a session where we would like you to bring your instruments or your voice and come and actually experience what it is and how these tunes and songs are actually like to participate in. This may be scary for some of you, but when we do this online, you will all be on mute, so there's nobody else that's going to necessarily hear what you are playing. But it's very, very important in this type of music for you at some point in the year to really get a sense of what it would be like to play some of it. So, you will be timetabled seminar-wise, and that will be centrally timetabled and come to you via the timetabling app. So we've put you into 3 groups, 3 smaller groups, and each of you will have a 1-hour seminar session with the seminar leader each week. We do ask when you come to these Zoom sessions that you've read the guidance that I put up on Canvas about attending Zoom seminars. So there's some really good advice on, how to get yourself set up and be ready for these sessions. We would ask, as a way to monitor attendance, which is very important for people who are certainly in stage 1, we would like you to use the chat function in the Zoom session, and we'd like you just to put your name into the chat, and that evidences that you have actually attended that session. So like if we were sitting in a normal physical room, you would be asked to swipe your smart card as you come in the room. It's your responsibility, and that's the most important thing. If you do not sign in and it's not captured on that chat thread, then as far as we are concerned, you were not there. So it's very much one of the things that you should do just when you first come into that environment. So going through the handbook here, we have all the details of how to contact module staff, and we have the overview and the module aims and the outcomes that we have prepared for you this year for this module. Okay, so I'll just head through some of this. Please read it at your leisure. So the assessment for Traditions of these Islands. There are going to be 3 summative. That means that there are marks attached to it that will eventually make your overall mark for the module. And these 3 separate things. The first one is an ongoing assessment of engagement and professional skills development. And that this year is going to be as part of the Academic Practice for Music Studies Semester 1 lecture content that you'll be able to find in ICMIS communities. This is a course that you will underpin all the writing that you're going to do in your first year and heading forwards. And it is an online course that you must complete. And also there will be a second piece of work which is weighted 50-50 with the online APMS material that I will be setting. And for Traditions of these Islands, it will be a short 250 words summary or précis. And I will be discussing that certainly with you in lecture number 4 that I will be delivering. I'll be talking to you about that then. Then we have a listening test, very important in this module when we're looking at musics which have a very strong oral tradition. We're going to, at the end of semester 1 in January, have a listening test, and that is worth 20% of the overall mark. Again, I will tell you much more about this as we head into the module. And finally, at the end of semester 2, for the May deadline, we will be expecting you to hand in a 3,000 word essay. We will give you the titles in semester 2, early in semester 2, of which you will choose one, and you will work towards handing this in at the end of the year, and it's worth 70% of the overall module mark. Great. So back to the handbook here. I don't want to make you too dizzy as I go through the document here. But you will see there's information here on criteria of how we mark essays and pieces of written work. And you can also find that in the undergraduate handbook, the criteria for academic writing. Attendance is very important to us. We will be monitoring you throughout the year, and if there are any issues, this will be put up to the person in the department who is in charge of unsatisfactory progress. Dr. Ian Biddle will probably be in touch with you all about this, and there will be some documentation given to you on what unsatisfactory progress is. I would say student voice. I will be asking you at several points, probably during the year, to give us some feedback of how we're doing. Obviously, this year, we are really, staff-wise, taking on this huge challenge of presenting our material in a completely different way. What we'd love to do is actually be in a room with you, but with the current situation, that isn't possible. And we would just love to know what you think about the content, how it's working for you, etc. So probably at the end of semester one, I will be asking you to give us some feedback that may be able to be fed into semester two, or will certainly be fed into future years. Last year, our students asked if they could do much more applied workshops, so looking at tune and song playing, and we've responded to that by adding several sessions into this year's module. Lots of information here in the handbook about digital and text resources. Please make yourself knowledgeable in those areas. Okay, then in the handbook we have several pages which give you a rubric or a kind of a structured look and an overview of your lecture asynchronous sessions, and also the dates and subject of your seminar sessions. So in these 2 pages, very important that you have a little look at this. These will of course feed into the Canvas site that you will regularly be looking at to access your lecture materials, and these will basically be updated and released every week. So this is the document if you want to look at everything in one document. As I say, most of the questions you will ever want to ask will be in the module handbook itself, but we will drip things through the week before your lecture and seminar. You will have all the content will be up there on Canvas, and of course that all sits there for the whole year, so by the end of the year there's going to be lots and lots of resources up there. But important, I think, that we don't overwhelm you with everything up there at the minute. So for the moment on Canvas, you'll see there are some preparatory readings that you can get on with for next Thursday's seminar, and on Monday the 19th, the start of teaching week, Dr. Matthew Ord will be putting up the first set of lecture content. Okay, so we have the timetable for the entire year. You can see all the rich content that we're going to be delivering to you. I should say something about the enrichment weeks. These hit the week 5 in both semester 1 and semester 2, and there's also one at the beginning of semester 2 as well. These weeks are not to be used for any kind of assessment, so they're really are an enrichment week. And in Traditions of These Islands, we have put in 2 different things. In semester 1, it's going to be playing some traditional tunes with myself, and in semester 2, we are looking at the wonderful Newcastle University rapper dance team are going to hopefully, if we could do it inside, that would be fantastic in the Robert Boyle Lectures Theatre like last year, but if not, they're going to do an outdoor demonstration depending on where we are with the COVID-19 restrictions at that point. So they are kind of optional weeks. If you feel as though you need the time to catch up on your reading or whatever, you don't necessarily have to be there, but I really would recommend that you come to these, because they're going to be really fun, I think, which is the most important thing. So they're there on your timetable too. So the rest of this document it goes into detail. As you can see, from page number 20 to 36 in the module handbook, we go week by week, really describing in detail what you're going to be doing. There's a summary of each of the lectures and seminars, and all the preparatory work that you should be doing is listed there. There may be additional preparatory work as we go through the year, and those will be posted weekly on Canvas. So I think that's enough from me at the moment. I do hope this answers a lot of your questions. If you do feel as though you need to be in contact, I am the person who will be administrating everything around this module. So if there are questions around the timetabling of things, if there are questions around assessment, those are things that should come to me as module leader. If you have a question about something that happened in the individual lecture, then really you should be in contact with the person who delivered the lecture. I won't necessarily know every specific piece of content that has been delivered. So the questions on that kind of level should go to your lecture and seminar leader. But anything structural and anything that you feel you'd like to feedback about the module in general, I am your person, and I'm so looking forward to seeing you all. I'll be there on the first seminar with Matt, and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. So take care, and I hope this has been helpful.